What's going on, guys? It's Cimo here at Pro Play Tour Philadelphia, and we're with the other people's champ, the zombie legend himself,
Matt Reitler.
All right, so why did you decide to play this deck for this event?
Zombies have just always been my thing, man. Even back in 2000 when like Vampire Genesis and cards came out, Vampires just clicked with me.
We can just talk about Zombie Master all day, but
Dude,
we'll do that later.
I loved it. Zombies were just a deck that always clicked with me. I thought the concept of bringing stuff back from what normally isn't accessible was just amazing, and back then Zombies were the only deck that did it, so I'm just like, I love playing Zombies.
Yeah, let's not talk about Carter's Safe Return and Illblood, but in any case, so you just like Zombies, that's cool. Let's just go ahead and see what you got.
Yeah, so obviously the starters for any zombie deck, the 3 Solitaire and the 3 Uni Zombie, these cards basically get you started. They dump the zombies into the graveyard and let you make your plays, sending all the field spells, searchers, all the Mizukis, anything I need to resurrect my zombies. So it's kind of how the deck starts out. I noticed that coming here, I'd have to go second a lot, and I actually lost all 8 dice rolls. I didn't win a single dice roll today. So I actually had to go second every single time. So I'm like, you know what? I have to just deal with playing hand traps. This guy's great because he activates Balladrock, which is super good.
And it's a zombie.
Yes, he is a zombie. And this guy, he was just there for like in case I ran into pendulums and stuff like that. I was just like, I'm gonna need hand traps, so I just played that package. I only used 2 Mizuki. I saw a couple people were actually cutting this down to 1. The reason why I didn't was there was a lot of situations where I was like, okay, I'm going to summon Uni Zombie, I'm going to dump Mizuki, and let's say I get Gozuki or something and I want to dump something else that's not my Balladrock play. I have no other target. So I'm like, you know what, I want my second Mizuki. I don't want to have to rely on Omega too much to make the play. So I'm like, let's just go with 2 Mizuki for the safety. Same thing with this. This card got called by the grave about 6 times. This
card's so good.
Yeah, this is the best card in the deck. It's the boss monster. He comes out as a 2800 beater. He has 2 effects. One, when a zombie monster effect activates, you can negate that effect, which you wonder, okay, why they don't play zombies, so how do I negate it? That's where the zombie world comes in. And whenever a zombie monster effect activates, banish 1 monster on the field or graveyard. This is non-targeting removal. So if the monster has any sort of protection, like Atramax you can get rid of, which I ran into in this weekend, anything with protection, you can just get rid of it. So it's super good. And he comes out whenever a field spell's in play. Really cool, because when I fought against Orcus, they popped my zombie world, but they didn't realize they still had Babel in play, so I was able to bring this back and still make plays. Any field spell. Yep. So a lot of people didn't read that, and it helped me out a lot this weekend. Same thing with this is my favorite card in the deck, Necro Banshee. It's so good. This card searches the zombie world. You can either tribute it from the field or tribute it in the graveyard. He's a quick effect, so you can put him in the graveyard while Balladrock's in there, and during your opponent's turn at any time, just be like, activate to play zombie world and banish something. It's just super effective. It's super useful, super effective. Card is amazing. Bloom, this guy gets me the Balladrocks, or another card that I'm going to talk to about a little bit later. The 2 Gozukis, this card was the MVP this weekend. Absolutely broken. When Zombie World's in play and he goes to the graveyard, you can send him, you can banish any other zombie, which is at that point anything, to special zombie from your hand. For some reason, Balladrock likes being in my hand, which I don't like, but he just would not go away, so I just kept dropping him from the hand, and people were like, oh, now I gotta deal with the 2800 beater, that's pretty safe. And this is my mystery tech for the weekend, Vampire Frontline.
You got to show this off a lot on stream.
Yes. This card is nuts. I won a duel because I paid 6,300 life over the course of a turn. This card
is... explain to people what this does.
Okay.
This isn't a very common card.
No, it's not common at all. So whenever a monster declares an attack, whether it's my monster or my opponent's monster, it doesn't matter. I can reveal this card, special summon it from my hand in defense. During the damage step, when a zombie battles, I can pay life points up to 3,000 life and have my monster gain that much attack or defense. So if I can drop this, and let's say my opponent's got 5 blue eyes in play, instead of me taking 15 grand, I take 5 grand and I block all 5 attacks, for example. I can do that. So what I would do is I would sit on my zombies, which normally don't have that high of attack. So I would summon this thing. When you reveal it, this is actually an activated ability. So I can reveal this, trigger Balladrock in response to an attack declaration, and get rid of something. Then I can just put him on the field in defense. Her second effect, this is what nobody knew this weekend, and this is what came in so much help. If she beats over a monster by battle, at the end of the battle phase, I take control of that monster.
Oh, wow.
So if my opponent synchros or plays anything, like I ran into Thunder. I beat over Colossus and was able to steal it.
That's
I was
disgusting.
like, the card was just like absolutely insane. And this is searchable off Global.
Yeah.
So it was just another reason why Global.
I think you did that in one of your feature matches, actually.
I did.
Yeah.
I searched Vampire. I think I special summoned it. I didn't search it, but I special summoned it. Yep. Onto the 28 monsters. Onto the spells. The 3 copies of the Instant Fusion. This deck loses to hand traps. You don't want to get hit by Ash or Veiler or stuff like that at a bad time. So the triple copies of Instant Fusion, I was never upset when I drew this. It let me make just crazy plays. This card is absolutely ridiculous. Back when this card was like first released, I'm like, this card sucks. It had no versatility. It was back when the Zombie World Structure deck came out. It just wasn't good. It didn't do anything for you besides letting you monster Book of Life Democ or something. Like that was the most you were getting out of a play. So it was like this card just wasn't good. This meta, it was absurd. So I'm playing against Thunder, right? Activate. All of a sudden, their extra deck, like I think 8 of their 15 cards just get turned off. You can't play Elfie, you can't play Pisty, Agripane, Thunderburst, nothing. You can't play Colossus, you can't play anything. This card just shuts off the deck and it forces people to make bad decisions to try to get rid of this thing. They have to neg like crazy. I was playing against Dino. One of the players in the Dino deck tried to overlay for Logia. Can't because they're not dinosaurs. It's just they tried to banish 2 dinosaurs from their graveyard, especially some Tyranno. Can't. It's just this card turned itself into a floodgate almost by accident. It just wasn't supposed to, but it just did. So this card is just so good. Obviously, the benefit to this, the biggest benefit is when you have Baladrock out, your opponent's monsters become zombies. So when they start activating their effects, you just negate them, and it just prevents them from playing the game.
Ah, there's another card you're playing too. That's why you might want to play this.
Bloom, yes.
Yeah. Oh no, the card that's coming next.
Oh yes, absolutely. This. Why is this card a 3? This is the best card in Yu-Gi-Oh right now. Super Polymerization, for some godforsaken reason, is at 3. I don't understand why. Basically, when Zombie World is active, everything in the field is zombies. I have a fusion in my extra deck that says it requires 2 zombies. So no matter what my opponent has on their board, it really doesn't matter. They could have the best 2 monsters in the game that say this card cannot be targeted by effects, this card cannot be destroyed by battle. Who cares? Fusion summon. Fuse your 2 monsters, play the Draco Necro Soul, whatever the hell he's called, that big dragon guy. So this card should not be at 3. I think it's absolutely absurd. I do understand why it is for this meta though, because there's some boards that are unbreakable without it, so I get why it's at 3, because without it you're just kind of looking at your opponent's turn 1 5 negate and just be like, okay, you win, GG's. So Zombie World plus Super Poly is just instant 2 card removal. And then the 1-for-1, the Foolish Burial, and the card destruction of the 3 1-ofs. I'm never playing this card in this meta again. This card, every time I played it, I regretted it. It just did not work out for me in the long run. And what I forgot to mention before is I played 5 dangers. My friends didn't have any danger core, so they just literally threw me any dangers they had. I had 2 Nessie, 2 Jackalope, and 1 Snake. I was gonna play more dangers, but they were like, I was like, do you guys have any dangers? And they're like, no, I don't have any dangers, so I just threw whatever. These were originally 2 Called by the Graves and 3 copies of the Zombie Icarus attack, the Swallow Slash. But they said it was too slow for this meta. They said it just wasn't gonna help me out. They were 100% right. The dangers not only debricked my hand, but they just made the engine just go even more consistent.
Yeah, because you want like 90% of your deck in the graveyard anyway.
Yeah, so it's like if I lose a card from my hand, as long as it's not one of my starters, and if I had a starter, I would just normally uni or
Your
Salazar
graveyard's
first.
your second hand with this deck.
Exactly, totally. Onto the extra deck, so starting with the fusions. Things I did not see this weekend. This card is absolutely broken. Millenniumizer Straight. Every single person who instant fusion me this weekend made Thousand Eyes. Everyone. I think I got 5 instant fusions played on me, everyone summoned Thousand Eyes or Straight. Millenniumize is infinitely better in my personal opinion. This card blocks Panga Traps, it blocks hand traps, it blocks any activated abilities that would activate like anything. This card just negates almost everything. So I instant fusion this out. I could summon my uni zombies and stuff and play the game without actually having to worry about stuff. And it's just an extra body, whereas if I go first and I make this, it's like, okay, well, what do I do with that? So it's either one of these 2. Mud Dragon's super useful too, because what I can do is I can make him a fire type and let Solitaire resolve, or make him a dark type and let Uni resolve without Veiler or Impermanence bothering me. Starving Venom, standard target for the Super Poly, and then the Draco Necro Nether Soul Dragon. I never actually read that full name. Draco Soul Nether Soul Dragon. This card is so good. This is the thing I fuse with the 2 zombies. His effect is kind of bad. He can't kill monsters by battle, but if the monster has a level, it reduces them to 0, and I get a body equal to that power that I reduced. So it's kind of good. That's the fusions. I played 1 Link. I brought in Dugaris for this event. This card was super helpful. What I would do a lot is I would instant fusion out the Mud Dragon. I would normal summon the Banshee, the thing that searches my Zombie World, overlay for Dugaris, detach the Banshee and the Mud Dragon, draw 2, discard Bulb, and I would activate the Chain Links, and I would literally go +1, plus Zombie World, plus Baladrock, plus the link that I would make with Dugaris and Baladrock. The play was absolutely insane. I won a lot of games just by doing that because the person couldn't catch up to my advantage. The 2 zombie links, pretty standard, Avenged Savior and Vampire Sucker. This guy just came out last pack. Whenever someone attacks him or he attacks, I could Foolish Burial a zombie to reduce the attack of that monster by 200 times the level, super good, and then sucker everybody. Sucker's just broken. The Nightmare package and Link Kuriboh, I just use them to get like Glow, Bloom, and cards like that off the field so that I can actually, you know, keep making the plays. I only summoned this a couple times, but one time it was actually in a feature match against Brandon Weathersby. I just normal Bloom, cracked it for Link Kuriboh, and Baladrock into Sucker, and just let me continue my plays. The Synchros, I played the Red Eye Zombie Necro Dragon and the Black Rose. Black Rose came up quite a bit. I was like, Black Rose, I could nuke boards, clear out stuff, it was super helpful. This guy got up to 5,200 attack in one of my sets. The Thunder player went off, did his entire thing. His graveyard was stacked like yay high, and I'm like, okay, with Zombie World in play, this guy gains 100 attack for every zombie in both players' graveyards and field. So this guy was huge. And whenever he kills a monster by battle, I special summon a zombie from either player's graveyard. So that's anything they've used, anything I've used. Card's just absolutely amazing. And all I gotta do is target their monsters with the Uni-Zombie so they can make the plays. And then the 2 level 8s were the Borreload Savage Dragon and the Omega. Omega is the greatest synchro that ever. Zombies are forever indebted to this card. It is broken, shuffles back Mizuki, shuffles back Necroworld Banshee. I'm forever grateful that this card was released. And this, I only summoned this once in the tournament, so I'll probably end up cutting it for something else, but this was just to, you know, continue the advantage. If I could get Borreload Savage out with Baladrock, have multiple negates, try to keep up with the meta of the multiple negations and stuff like that, so that's that. On to the side deck. I was going to play the 3 Eradicator, but I couldn't get a third one. I couldn't get a third one in time, so I played the 2 Eradicator and the 1 Rivalry. I actually brought this in one game where I activated Zombie World and Rivalry. A lot of people don't really understand how that interaction works. So the way it is if Zombie World's face up on the field, your opponent summons something for the first time. Let's just say it's a dragon monster. It becomes a zombie. Rivalry says you can only control one type of a monster. So anytime you try to summon again, you have to summon zombies. Well, if you're not playing the mirror, you can't play the game. You literally just sit on your one monster until I'm ready to kill you. And because my whole deck is zombies, this card doesn't affect me at all. So I was actually playing 3 of this and no Eradicator, but I didn't know about how good like Sky Striker and decks like that work because I haven't played in years. So, but I'm glad I brought in the Eradicators. They ended up helping me out pretty considerably. The 3 copies of the Twin Twister, this is pretty standard. I was maining this before, but I realized my friends were telling me as I was playtesting that no decks are playing back row. And if you look at the top 16 lists, beside Crescendo and I think Salamangreat, Roar, and Rage, there were 0 traps in main deck of top 16. It was like absurd. So I'm glad I didn't main these. It wouldn't have helped me much at all throughout the tournament. Lancias, I brought these in against Orcust. Both times I used Lancia, got called by the grave, so that was a little unfortunate, but that's what they were there for. Pretty standard. And then I'm going second, so hopefully I can play the game cards. The Pancatrops and the Evenly Matched, you gotta bring these in if you're going second, just so that you can hopefully out the opponent's board without having to go 2-. So yeah, that's the side deck.
Any final thoughts?
Final thoughts is, for my first event in 7 years, the fact I top 16, dude, I'm extremely happy. My boys helped me play test, and if it wasn't for them, I wouldn't be here. My friend Nick Sacco, who I play with all the time, I've been playing with him since we were kids, and he's the one who helped me become the player I am today. Alejandro, Cecil, Peter, and James helped me get to where I am. They're the ones who tweaked up this deck, and I'm the only zombie in top 16, and I probably will be for a while, because it's not a deck that's, you know, super competitive in this meta. But super happy I came. This event was awesome, so I'm looking forward to coming to the next one.
Awesome. Thanks so much, man.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
it.